Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ ATS Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast for Friday. That's right.
Friday!
Weekend, good stuff. Yeah, gonna run around and shake my titties.
Yeah, shake them titties.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Hey, if you got them, shake them.
Yeah.
And I got them.
Yes.
I don't know. You said you lost what, like 8 pounds?
I've lost more than 8 pounds.
Since your whole wisdom tooth debacle?
Well, I was in the middle of kind of trying to get back in shape and lose a little weight, and then the tooth happened. So, I don't know, it all kind of worked out. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that can of soda half full, Virginia.
Yeah, and ironically, you're not drinking soda.
No shit. I could really go for a Coca-Cola.
I gave you a bunch of soda for your birthday, and it's just sitting in here, and I'm like, wow, this bird is hardcore.
That squirt, though. Oh, man. That's how you get me. That's the meth of soda for me. If I'm on squirt, I'm hitting it hard, I'm going through something.
Well, it's nice to have everybody here. Got a big old weekend going on. Don't know if Virginia, are you going to crack open your door or are you just going to hide inside all weekend?
I don't know. Panda wants to have date night tonight, so we need to have date night. We need a little reconnection. We had a little bit of friction this week, so we
What
need
happened?
to. I think it's just the quarantine's getting to both of us in different ways, and we both kind of snapped a little bit, and some things were said, and there's a lot of So
Oh, okay.
I think tonight we need to have a little date night and come back together.
You said the things you can't take back, or he said them to you?
He said them to me, and I was really crushed. And
Did you cry?
Yes.
In front of him?
After it happened, I did, and I didn't want him to see me because I'm that kind of bitch. But he did. He saw me, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Well, you." Yeah, I think I'm stressed. He's stressed. It's just a hard time to be alive right now with all the weird stuff going in our world, and it weighs on you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you say things that you don't mean to the people that you love because you don't know where else to throw your aggression or frustration.
That's what being a family's about. Sometimes you say, I know some families don't live in a volatile kind of a house.
And we don't.
And I know you don't. I wouldn't say we're volatile, but there was a lot going on in our house, and people would say things that were mean, but that happens in a family, and you're closer and you're better for it after.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good going into today. I felt terrible yesterday, but, you know, he owned it yesterday, and we talked a little bit yesterday.
Yeah,
I threw some objects yesterday.
You did? What did you throw?
I was so mad. In front of our house, we were kind of like talking because we didn't want to go in the house. So I guess it's better if your neighbors hear you than your kids.
So,
Interesting, yeah.
I don't want to pry too hard. Never mind.
Never mind.
It was just emotional and stupid. I mean, I don't think he meant what he said. And I took it the wrong way.
Were you guys just chilling, and all of a sudden he said a comment, and then you're like, what the fuck was that?
No, he said it to somebody else in front of me. When I was looking for him to go one way with it, he went a totally other way, and
You thought he was going to be on your team, and you felt betrayed in the moment with what he said.
Yes.
Because that was not your expectations.
Not at all. And it really hurt, and I was very pissed and more crushed than pissed, but I try to hide the crushed, sad part of it and be mad and throw things and be like a dude. but that doesn't work either.
Yeah. Well, at least it sounds like you talked about everything that was said and done, and you got to some kind of like apology, and it's something that you kind of put behind you.
Yes. And then tonight will be, our little date night that we need to reconnect.
Now,
Yeah.
Is there any kind of remnants of pissed offness going into tonight?
I mean, you know me.
So, yeah, damn. Poor son of a bitch.
You know me.
You're right. Man,
That's tough.
you are going to make
What
Panda.
do you think?
Oh, you're going to make him work.
How long does it typically take before, and do you ever fully get over something, or is there always a little something lingering?
I'm going to remember these words for a while, but I'm going to try not to dwell on them. I'm going to try to put them out of my head.
Boy, you make me wonder what they were.
I'll tell you off air.
That's the nosy side of me. Now, the right side of me, the part that we shouldn't be talking about, that should shut the fuck up myself. But I am curious. I'm only curious because I always like to hear how other people's fights start, because maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can learn from it.
Yeah, but if I tell you the details, then I'm going to put somebody else's business besides me and Panda out there, and I don't want to do that.
So, yeah.
It's multi-layered with other people, and, I want to keep that drama private.
It's cool.
But that drama has a lot to do with our drama, so it's very, intermingled.
So
Okay.
ruin Panda's life, but not the other people.
Exactly.
Got it.
Well, you married it.
It's
Okay.
your fault. Kind of like how Kevin hired me.
Yeah. All runs downhill. Okay. Well, please let us know on Monday how it goes.
I think it'll be good. I think we need to be on the same page and reconnect and have date night tonight.
You do, and what you said is very key, that there are things that can be said. Things cannot be unsaid in relationships, and it's a relationship like that is different than any other relationship you have. And yeah, there are things that you will remember years later that will be there, and you need to let that person know that, hey, this stuck in my head. It may never come out. I don't know. And if nothing else, that is a warning to you to say that there are things that you can say that will never go away. And just keep in mind, it's throwing a rock in the creek, but eventually you get enough rocks, you got a dam, and you're not getting any water through, and then it's over at that point.
Damn.
That's right, I said a dam.
You're rocking the creek to the dam analogy's nice.
Some things you can't take back. Shut up, needle dick. You can't take that back.
Oh, who told you that?
No, I'm just...
Ashley's got a question for you, Virginia, here. She said, I know that Virginia knew a few people that had COVID, and I wanted to see how they recovered. I caught it 2 weeks ago, and I was not prepared for the symptoms, psychological effects, and everything that came along with it. I'm 35. I'm in great health before, so I didn't end up in the hospital. However, I'm on day 12, and it's taken me down. Please be careful out there, guys. I want to tell everyone I care about to be diligent, and there is no such thing as overly cautious.
Yeah, I mean, the two people that I know that fought it and battled it and won, both of them survived, they both went through moments in isolation where they couldn't breathe and they thought about calling 911 because they were really, really, really sick. And you're talking about, one guy was immune compromised, but the other guy was healthy as a horse. I just think that it should not be underestimated. Some people get it and it's no big freaking deal. But then some people get it and it just rocks their world. And they're saying now that it might be your blood type too that has something to do with it. And who knows if that's real or not. But it does affect different people different ways.
Yeah.
And the two cats that I know that had it were knocking on death's door. If you ask them, they were awful.
Well, it sounds like you'll get the illness of your life. It's going to be longer, harder, nastier than you've ever had. And to me, that's enough to dissuade me to say, okay, whatever these precautions are telling me, I'll keep it close to home. I'm not going to venture too much out of my little bubble and my serenity of my little group, and I'm going to try to keep it locked down. Not say that's going to be doing it. I'm not 100%, probably 80%. There's a couple little things here and there, but thing it gets tough is like you were saying with Magnolia. When people start venturing out of their friend group.
Yep.
And
she wants to bring people over.
You got one lawless person that's kind of throwing that off.
Yeah.
That's where it gets tricky. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with, the Florida cases and what it's going to be like. I guess we are now the new epicenter. A lot of people are pointing the finger at us. In fact, what a weird flip. People now traveling from Florida to New York may soon be required to quarantine upon their arrival in an effort to slow down the spread of the coronavirus. So what we did to them, they are probably going to be doing to us. That's what their governor is saying. And I know a lot of people are going back and forth, and there's a lot of connection here between Florida and New York City.
A lot.
That'd be the ending of the Twilight Zone episode right there. You leave from New York, you have to quarantine in Florida, and then vice versa. That's how it end.
Yeah.
I love it. Twist ending. Hey,
Yeah.
we're living in a twist ending, Virginia.
That's what's going on.
I think, we were on lockdown here and doing a really good job, and we don't live on top of each other like they do in New York City. And I think as soon as we loosened it up here, it's just like, woohoo!
We loosened it up real quick, and it didn't take long for people to
Decide Corona was over.
just go out and really live their best life.
Well, and I think it's all good, and it just takes one person. And, especially with what we do, I think there were like just 5 or 6 different people in Orlando, Tampa, maybe it was Tampa, that were just diagnosed with coronavirus. And that happens to a radio station, bam, thing gets shut down. And then everybody's got to broadcast from home. And, I checked. I'm like, hey, we still got that fail-safe, right? I'm like going, because I can't get the equipment to work in the studio. So I'm like, are we going to be able to do this if, who knows, we come in and we find out on Monday, Bird's got the corona.
Well, that's just it. People don't realize that. And if one of us gets the corona, the show shuts down. And are you going to be more annoyed that we're not going out in public, or would you be more annoyed that we can't do a show? Because if one of us gets it, they're not going to let us come back to work.
No, we'd have to do
No.
it from home. We'd have to do a remote show. And
We've seen people that are doing that. Well, first of all, the person who's sick's not going to be doing anything for 2 weeks.
right,
If I had COVID, I'd still do the show from home.
It would look horrific if you had it the way my 2 friends had it. It would not be something that you want to broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugly,
Yeah.
and hopefully you wouldn't get it on that level, but
Or at all.
or at all, of course. I think that goes without saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you look at, okay, what's going to be happening? I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was very optimistic, getting excited about football. I was sitting here, every day I check in with my little favorite college football team. I'm like, okay, players are going to start showing up. And I'm like, oh, this is getting exciting. And it is going to be really tough. Anybody who loves football, like I love football, is it going to happen or not? University of Texas, they went back and they started doing their practice. And after just 4 days of these voluntary practices, 13 football players have tested positive now for coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
And another 10 players have been placed in self-quarantine as a preventative measure. So they're trying to, almost practice in pockets. So if you do have an outbreak, okay, that pod will quarantine all those players. But that just goes to show you, all it takes is one to get it, and then it's kind of a mess. And Fauci was, talking about, is the NFL going to be able to happen? And a couple of teams are starting to get their players back in and working. And already several players from the Dallas Cowboys, including Ezekiel Elliott, their star running back, and the Houston Texans have reported to have coronavirus. And the NFL is saying they're planning on moving forward with the 2020 season. But Fauci said, unless players are essentially in a bubble, insulated from the community, and they are tested nearly every day, it would be very hard to see how football is going to be able to be played this fall.
Yeah, you literally have to be like on lockdown.
Yeah.
What do you call a football player who has COVID? A coronaback. Cornerback. Is this thing on? Hello?
Oh, I wish it wasn't. Yeah.
Hey, you need to apologize.
No, I'm not, because you got to go for it sometimes. Sometimes it's going to be a terrible.
Do you? Do you say that about murder?
I said a coronaback.
We heard you.
Let me see a couple other emails that we got here, and some stories as well. I don't know if you saw that they were able to identify, and you expected that. The crotchety older dude that
The
was
Wellington racist, as they're calling him on Twitter.
Oh, is that what his name is?
He's been
Yes,
dubbed that.
if you want to find him, which I did. I was very much on that yesterday.
Yeah, he got pointed out.
They got him.
Yeah,
Look,
60-year-old.
Twitter don't play.
No, they'll get you.
If you missed the story, there were 5 teenagers in Wellington that were riding around across a road from one development to another on a golf cart. This Lee Jeffers was trailing right behind him in his little Toyota, whatever it was, Camry or something like that. And they were trying to let him pass, and he was like tailgating them. And they're like, what the heck? So they pulled off, and he gets out and starts berating him. And the boys in the group take off running. It leaves behind 3 girls, including Brianna Nelson Hicks, who's 15, her and 2 of her friends. And then this guy, Lee Jeffers, 60-year-old dude, white guy, comes out and he yells at the 3 girls. And maybe you couldn't tell from the video who he was directing his comment at. And if it was Brianna individually, he said, "You don't belong in this development." And the girl lived there. Her grandfather, she went and got him, and he came out and confronted this guy. And it got nasty. And then they found out, because he got pointed out a little bit. Apparently, he's an immigration services analyst at the Department of Homeland Security. And so when that kind of stuff happens and it gets out, then, especially when you got basically a government job, then especially with what's going on, it could get ugly for your employment. This guy has apologized and wants to meet in person, but, it just goes to show you, and he knew he's being recorded, and those kind of things happen that, those little biases and things like that we had, and who knows what his intent was, but it was just, you're just being an asshole. On top of, you didn't have to go to that level. And these, community warriors, I've got them on my street and they do stuff. But when something comes out and they say something, then you get posted up on social media. And then if you have a job of repute, then you could lose that job. We've had it. I told you on my block, that woman across the street came out and confronted, my daughter and my wife and called my wife a wetback. And and so
not pretty.
No, and so
she's lucky your wife didn't kick her ass.
Well, my wife didn't want to get any charge. My wife would kill her. If my wife hit her, she would die. So.
It's so weird when someone gets mad. That's what they go to.
Yeah, well,
because everyone's born a certain way. It's just weird to me.
But it just goes to show you that it does exist. And as a white guy, it's not often that somebody has said a comment of disrepute. To me, or a racial term at me. I think it's happened once or twice in my life, but I think that if you're a minority and you got a different color of skin, you probably have more situations in your life where somebody has said something like that. I know just in the time I've been with my wife, she's, lapped me many times where people have, and she has a good sense of humor about it and laughs about it, unless somebody's being nasty like that.
Sure.
She'll laugh. People have, joked about being her and thrown all that stuff out, and she laughs about it. To me, I love that kind of comedy. I like racial comedy, but it comes from a place of love where you can pick on each other like we do in this studio.
Right.
When somebody is being nasty to you and then they call you a wetback or a beaner or something like that, then you're like going, you know what?
It's coming from a place of anger and terrible.
And that's what makes it racist, the IST part. Otherwise, it's racial, which I think racial comedy is hysterical when it's done either way. But that's what makes it nasty.
So this guy, he works for Homeland Security. They issued a statement yesterday saying they're looking into Lee Jeffers' actions off duty.
Yeah.
And they are going to investigate and decide what, if any, is the appropriate action for them to take. So they're trying to figure it out. But, of course, he's all apologies now that he's busted. And
Just goes to show
it's
you,
gross.
Get a hold of yourself.
Get a hold of yourself.
Just walk through life now. Imagine anything you do is being broadcast to the world. You all got to think, what was it, The Truman Show?
Yes.
We just all got to think like we're The Truman Show and anything you can do. And so if you are a racist, then don't verbalize those anywhere. Don't verbalize them in your house. Don't verbalize them anywhere. Try to change yourself, first of all. But if you're going to go outside, don't say anything that could be questionable. And that might be the only thing they say is like, okay, was that a racist comment where he's saying you don't belong here? And I'm sure he's arguing, saying, I'm saying that because they're teenagers. Maybe it's ageist. I wasn't meaning to be racist. I don't know. That might be his argument.
I don't know.
And that's the thing where we get into a tough situation is you're now trying to judge somebody's intent on what they meant on one of those kind of comments that could split hairs. A lot of people are going, I think I know what you meant, but,
Well, when you start acting like an idiot in public and Twitter finds you and you lose your job, it's exactly what you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, so just, don't...
I have zero sympathy for guys like him.
Well, I remember, there was a guy who used to do radio. He passed away, but he was a legend in his time named Kid Craddock. And I remember one of the pieces of advice I heard him, and he was telling a group of us, he said, be yourself on the radio. because people can detect a phony. And he said, so be yourself unless yourself is an asshole. Then be somebody else.
And some people are still assholes on the air.
Sure, yeah. But, it wears thin. And eventually, I think people are kind of like, okay. Willie from West Palm Beach wrote an email. He said, love you guys. Been a listener for over 5 years now. I heard Kevin reading an email from a woman on the ATS about how she'd been so ignorant and felt guilty after witnessing some of the experiences blacks have on a daily basis. Guilt sometimes stems from numerous realizations following shock. Perhaps she realized how blind she'd been to or even contributed to racist/biased actions that she had not previously realized were offensive. It can be the smallest of things. Guilt is not a wrong reaction to have this enlightenment. Speaking on white privilege, it's not an effort to make white people feel guilty. It's about speaking of true biased experiences that white people don't have to face every day, thus making it a privilege. As an individual, you may not feel privileged, but you as a white individual, you have experienced life without the complications non-whites are exposed to at the hands of whites and a system created by whites for whites. So many people become triggered by the term white privilege as if it denounces the struggle of their lives. It does not. But know that your struggles as a white person, no matter how arduous they may appear, are not caused or worsened by the color of your skin. Also, folks want to keep bringing up black-on-black crimes as a rebuttal to the Black Lives Movement and police brutality. Black and brown folks know that crimes are committed on our people, by our people, and they need to be checked. People advocate in the community to stop the violence. We go to city meetings and we rally to stop the crime. No one remembers it till it's too late, though. The answer is always more police presence, which does not always help the issue, as we've come to realize as a global population. However, one thing has nothing to do with the other. Bringing up black-on-black crimes is a deflection tactic to counteract police brutality. Whites kill other whites all the time. Mass shootings tell us so. There are dozens of TV shows and docuseries, such as Dateline, Snap, Forensic Files, etc., that have aired for decades telling how whites will kill each other. The truth of the matter is criminals will be criminals, and that is not determined by the color of your skin or your success in your profession. White, black, brown, doctor, teacher, cop, they all kill unjustly. People need to stay on topic. Love that you guys have joined the discussion. Stay enlightened. Thank you, Willie. There you go. Got a bunch of other interesting emails that have come in here. One that I thought was kind of fascinating. We were doing the Magic Quarter this week, and one we flipped for a move. And Cassie said, so I'm a day behind on the coin flip, and I'm so exhausted that it landed on heads. It's what I was secretly hoping for.
Okay.
As for it landing on Virginia's crotch, I find that hilarious. But I've decided I'm going to go to California. My moving truck arrives on Monday, and I head out the first week of July. I have so much to do in so little time, but I'm excited for the adventure. I'm making on a date on my calendar to let you guys know how it's going in 6 months. Thank goodness for podcasts. So I'll be able to keep up with the show across the country. So she is taking that big advice from the quarter, and she's going to be moving to California.
Good for her. And secretly, she wanted it to land on that anyway. So I think the quarter just helped you do what was in your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see. And she did not say exactly where in California she's going, but better pack your mask because they're making everybody wear masks up and down and all over the place.
I hear it never rains in Southern California. That's what I hear.
Not often. Yeah.
They don't have humidity like we got. It's pretty cool to go outside in California and it's 95 degrees, but it's not damp like it is here. It's dry and you can breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now we are living in butt sweat city right now. It is tough to...
Southern California has the best climate in all of America.
Well, they're
Not
looking
even
for a
close.
new name for plantation. That might work. Butt sweat city.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
Butt sweat city.
Doesn't sound as inviting.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think we all can relate.
Okay. Check it out. Got this email from Alexandra. We were talking about the mosquito issue, which comes up here in South Florida and in Key West. They have got these genetically modified mosquitoes. They're hoping to take out the bad mosquitoes that might be carrying disease.
What are they, cannibal mosquitoes?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do they have biceps? Like, what are these genetically modified? Do they have like a human head? Like, what?
I need to know. I need to see a picture of one.
A human head with buck teeth. And what is this? I don't know.
Mosquitoes don't like humans. They like to eat us, but as people, they do not like us. They want us to go down.
Yeah. And, the question I have is like going, what could go wrong? And Alexander reminded us love bugs were created by UF to try and combat mosquitoes. See how that worked out.
Damn. Is that true?
I had heard that I thought they had been
We
genetically
had
modified.
We had love bugs in Louisiana.
Love bugs are not human-made, are they?
I don't know.
Love bugs?
We're going to go down a wormhole here.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find. Somebody said they're actually here. A quick check says they're actually from Central America. They migrated through Texas and Louisiana before making their way to Florida. They can also be found in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, among other states.
Yeah, I've seen them all across the Gulf Coast.
We don't make love bugs, but we do make the banana.
Look at them gators trying to take credit for something else.
Y'all made Gatorade. We'll give you that.
That's right.
We know.
We'll give you that one. Yes. This email, it says, my big boss asked me how much I see my immediate boss. Okay, I am in sales. I am left on my own frequently, and my immediate boss checks in on me daily by phone. See him in person once a week. It's usually very brief. I excel at my job, and my immediate boss doesn't feel the need to micromanage me. Here's a dilemma, though. My previous immediate boss was a terrible manager, and when the same big boss had asked me the same question years ago about him, I told him the truth. And then my big boss told my immediate boss, and it came back on me. Well, I feel the same big boss is fishing for some dirt again on my current immediate boss. Basing my answer on what happened previously, I told him my current boss is with me frequently, not totally truthful. So do I tell my immediate boss that the big boss is fishing for info, or keep my mouth shut? Okay, so big boss is digging around for the immediate boss. Do I say something, or I just stay out of it?
This is multi-layered.
I would stay out of it. Because you don't know, and you might open up a can of worms, and you might interject yourself into something and cause a problem where one doesn't exist.
Yeah, and always err on the side of less information. To say as little as you can to get by.
Yes, that's what I would think.
Especially if he's like gathering stuff and wants you to be a rat. Ugh.
Be careful if you are a rat, my friends. The rat trap is oh so painful.
Yes.
It wasn't that good. Trying to make it sound all wise.
A little depth in that one.
No, it was terrible.
But let's focus on the positive. Your outfit is popping.
Yeah, it's controversial. Not everyone likes it.
Why?
Some of these fuck faces are.
Fuck them. I think it looks awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it does. It looks real comfortable.
It is very comfortable.
It's a tracksuother onesie.
Look at the crotch area.
It's not
Yeah,
tight on your
crotch.
It's not tight on your dick and
Let's see your
balls.
crotch.
Look at that.
Remember that other outfit you had, the Chewbacca one that was all tight and everybody could see the outline of your D?
I do remember
That was amazing.
That was an uncomfortable time on stage.
It was.
Because your D was like eye level.
Well, someone came up to me, a listener I had never met before. They bring me over to the stage as we're on the podcast. They go, hey, I gotta tell you something. Hey, your dick is kind of hanging out. I'm like, what?
We can see the entire outline of your dick and the mushroom head and
it
everything.
wasn't out. It was just the outline of the Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But these shoes, though?
Shoes are popping.
Touch the
socks.
material on that shoe, Virginia. Okay, that's enough. Yeah. So, and then, if you want to get real sexy. Yeah, pizza titties.
Yeah.
Pizza tits.
That's a good-looking thing right
I
there.
love it.
Got a couple of nice positive things to jump out here with, including a very nice email from the Pickle Squad. It says, good morning, KVJ. I wanted to get on here and tell you something I think you need to hear. This world right now is a very scary and unstable place to live in. If it's not COVID-19, it's racism issues. And if it's not that, it's politics. And if it's not that, it's that giant meteor that is coming to kill us all. I assume that's happening next. Every day, we all get up and wonder what it's going to be that day. That's going to be the new hot button topic. It's very exhausting. However, the one thing that is constant, the one thing that we can always look forward to is the hours between 6 and 11 a.m. with everything that's going on in the world. I think a lot of people have forgotten how to laugh. I do truly believe that laughter is the best medicine, and the KVJ show supplies a shit ton of it. I think I can speak for almost everyone in the chat room that even though we're all doing different stuff, we all love you guys like you're our family. Because of you guys, we all watch the other stuff that you do other than the morning show. I started watching the Facebook Live that you do, Kevin, and I must say it's a breath of fresh air that the world needs right now. And the Weird and Whatever podcast, that's always awesome to watch. Virginia, the stories about your kids, Rocco's crazy and it's awesome. And when your daughter always gets into stuff, we all have an opinion and in a way really care about her well-being. Long story short, you guys are the glue that holds South Florida together. We love you guys, and thank you again for making the morning worth it.
I'm so glad you got my email.
Yes. It's from Jason and the Pickle Squad, and thank you guys so much. And I don't want to be premature, but to let everybody know, we always give you the insider information. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're about to go sign new contracts to stay on here at WRMF for at least the next 3 years.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Something to celebrate,
It
actually.
is. Yeah.
I don't know. I might be holding out for free Champagne Friday. I'm not signing until I get booze.
Okay.
I'll get you booze, Mama.
I'm just kidding.
I'll get you whatever. I'll get you horse tranks if you want them. No, I'm just kidding.
Those are great.
That was a joke. Don't be all horsey and email Kevin.
And a couple other nice things to point out here. A little feel-good Friday. Picture taken yesterday of Lacey Siska. She's 13 in front of the Miami Cancer Institute. You can see her right there. In the weeks before the pandemic took hold of the world, Lacey hadn't been feeling well. She was tired, having a hard time eating, and she began having blurred vision and numbness in her arm. Her parents, Kim and Chris, were understandably concerned, but thought it must be dehydration from a cold or the flu and took her in for a simple doctor's visit. And after scans and tests, on top of the doctor's concern, Lacey and her family received the devastating news that she had a tumor the size of a lemon on her brain.
Oh, my.
From there, things began moving quickly, and Lacey had an extensive 12-hour surgery the day before her 14th birthday. Not knowing whether she'd wake up to celebrate another birthday, her family spent an agonizing day hoping for the best. Thankfully, she made it through the surgery. Although the surgeon was hopeful to have removed the tumor, Lacey's battle is just beginning. There is a significant chance that it will return. She's now undergoing radiation treatments to combat an aggressive form of brain cancer called anaplastic ependymoma. She has 6 days left of radiation treatments, and she'll take 3 months off, and then she'll have an MRI to follow up. But one day at a time, Lacey strong, never alone, hope always. So that is a great photo in front of a hope sign, and so we're all here pulling for you and rooting for you, and you got a community behind you.
Yeah, tell Lacey we're here for you.
Yes, girl. You keep fighting, and you are an inspiration.
And a feel-good local story, the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue Station 43 team stopped by a local boy's home in Lake Worth last Sunday to the 14th to wish him a very happy birthday. He absolutely adores trucks and had a truck-themed birthday party. They were all there, so that is really cool. So thank you very much. The boy's name is Owen Moncrief. His father is Kevin, and his mother is Teresa. So very cool. Thank you for sending that, Jacqueline. And nice to hear people doing something like that. Making special moments. Just because we got a pandemic and everything else going on in the world doesn't mean you can't do that.
That's all we have, Kevin, special moments.
That's all we got is special moments, Bird. We just had one.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Oh, thank you, guys.
I hope your special moment is all weekend.
Yeah, I think it will be. I'm excited.
You want to ride the bull for your birthday?
What does that mean?
I'm the bull.
Oh, you are.
Hey, want to ride the bull?
Yeah, gay sex. Let's do it.
Well, that took a turn.
Yeah, why not?
I was just going to have you get on my back.
Hey,
and
why not,
ride
right?
me like
You
a
know?
bull.
Yeah, okay.
See if I can knock you off.
Okay, I bet you can, big boy. Uh-huh.
Knock you up?
That can't happen that way, Virginia. All right, you guys have an amazing weekend. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.